Hi, I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Lita Leapin.
And welcome to another edition of Our City Tonight.
Well, we're here at Freebird Table and Bar Restaurant out in Richmond, very close to the airport.
That's right. We've enjoyed filming here a number of times. We're going to talk a little bit with one of their team members later in the show about what you can see here during the holiday season. But right after you watch this, we're going to delve into British programming.
This segment is brought to you by BritBox, the streaming service from BBC and ITV, offering unmissable British entertainment in Canada and the US.
Well, it is the month of December, and all this month with our friends at BritBox, we're going to be talking about great programming that you can access, and we'll also tell you about some great gift ideas at the end of the segment. First, though, we should thank our friends here at Freebird Table and Bar in Richmond. Lita, we have filmed here a number of times over the last year. We'll have more details on this place with one of their team members coming up later in the show. But first, let's get to the first of four shows we're going to talk a bit about. They're all different. They're all in different locations, but they have a thread running through it, Lita, which is a cop's protagonist trying to right wrongs, to look into things that may have fallen through the cracks. And the first one we talk about is a great drama called Honor.
Yes, Honor follows the police investigation and the revelations about police failings in the run-up to Honor killing of Banaz Mahmoud. She's a 20-year-old Iraqi Kurdish woman who was murdered on the orders of her family after she leaves an abusive marriage for another man. Now, it had been discovered that Banaz had been to the police 5 times. Honor is a 2-part British television drama, and it depicts the investigation into the real-life disappearance and murder of Honor-killing victim Banaz Mahmoud.
We should also mention that several of the real-life people that the cast was based on were consultants on this, including DCI Carolyn Good. The cast is just stellar in this 2-part series, and we've been lucky enough to have a few great actors from around the world on our show over the last couple of years. One of them is my favorite actress, I think, internationally, and that's Keely Hawes. She plays the lead, DCI Carolyn Good. She was fabulous in The Line of Duty. She was great in The Bodyguard from 2018. Everything this woman is in is great and made better by her performance, and her performance in this miniseries is spectacular.
Yeah, she definitely plays the strong female protagonist, and we just love her in that role.
Look for the 2-part series Honor, available now.
Continuing on in London with another very strong female protagonist, we have The Tower. This show is grounded in the terrifying realities of life on the beat. It revolves around a shocking event in London's East End in which a veteran cop and a teenage girl are killed, and a rookie cop and a 5-year-old boy are on the scene. Now, the seemingly only connection is the tower where this incident takes place.
One of several shows we're talking about based on a novel. This is written by Kate London. It's called Postmortem, and she was a former detective who spent 8 years in the Metropolitan Police Homicide Squad, so she kind of knows her way around the front lines of this. It also stars another great actress, Gemma Whelan, who plays the lead. You may recognize her from Game of Thrones, where she played another strong female character. This is another example of just a cop who's trying to right a possible wrong that's about to happen. She's surrounded by male colleagues who all have different agendas, and her boss is even saying, let's just sweep this under and finish things up, right?
Yeah, even though she's going through some real tough things in her own life, she doesn't really let that influence, but they do sprinkle it in throughout the show.
I think the thing about that is that because her personal life is not going well, she does nothing but live for making sure she does the right thing.
That is true.
With this. Okay, look for The Tower. It just came out December 1st. It's available now. Well, we go from London north to Scotland and the town of Dundee, and another strong female protagonist in the show, Traces.
Yes, Traces focuses on 3 female forensic professionals, Emma Hedges, Sarah Gordon, and Kathy Torrance. And these women are working together at the Scottish Institute of Forensic Science, SIFA. And they uncover the truth of a murder case and work to bring this killer to justice.
This stars a fabulous young actress named Molly Windsor. And we should mention Line of Duty. Again, the show keeps coming up. It's Martin Compston who plays Emma's love interest. Lita, what's interesting too about this show is that the case study that they're all studying, including Emma, who's kind of a student in a co-op situation, The case is eerily familiar to her, and it's something from her past that happened 18 years ago. I think that's all we should say.
Yeah, but she moves back to Dundee 18 years later. I think that's a really important part of the show, and discovering a lot of undiscovered things.
That's right, some ghosts there, but another strong female protagonist. And again, another example of something that maybe slipped through the cracks, and our lead is saying it's worth circling back on this case. Look for Traces, it's available now. Well, from Scotland we go to Wales, and another true-to-life story, Lita, starring Luke Evans. This time we have a male lead protagonist, Luke Evans, who's been in a million things, but it is called The Pembrokeshire Murders.
Yes, and this follows two unsolved double murders from the 1980s, and newly promoted Detective Superintendent Steve Wilkins, Luke Evans, from, well, as Jim mentioned, a lot of things, but The Hobbit in particular, he decides to reopen both of these cases, and they're able to employ pioneering forensic methods. So Wilkins and his handpicked team, they find microscopic DNA and fibers that potentially link the murders to a string of burglaries committed in the 80s and 90s.
This is based on the book by Steve Wilkins and Jonathan Hill. Again, you know, it's interesting too. I keep sounding like a broken record, but this is another example of a lead protagonist looking back on, circling back on something and saying, we better look into this. Again, something might have fallen through the cracks. You know, we're seeing this all over the world today, which is modern day forensic equipment and technique to be able to help with older cases from 30, 40 years ago. And that's what we have in this film. Yeah, another great show. Luke Evans, you mentioned he's been in a ton of things. I should mention Fast and Furious 6, Dracula Untold, a lot of great stuff. And he is a great lead. It's also great. This is very methodical, this series. They really walk you through all the things the procedures that happen.
It's almost scary that this is real life, because they almost did not catch this serial killer, and he was out on the street available to kill again.
Yeah. It is the Pembrokeshire Murders. It is available now. Well, lastly, with the holiday season on us this month, we have a great idea. How about a gift idea for someone who loves British programming? You and I have about 10 people in our lives.
At least.
That. You can look for a great gift idea, BritBox. How about getting them a year subscription? You can do it last minute. You can do it now.
Gift that keeps on giving for sure. We have binge watched so much.
And you'll also discover that you'll have a lot of new friends who also like British programming if they find out you have it.
Yes,
look
definitely.
for all the information on BritBox, their website, and how you can sign up and get a gift for somebody, a year subscription. Look for that at the end of the show in the end credits. Lita, that is this edition of our BritBox Moments. We'll be back with one more before the end of the month.
And before we go, we want to give a big thank you to our friends at Freebird Table and Bar for hosting us here today in the heart of Richmond, very close to YVR, our airport. We're going to meet with one of their team at the end of the show and find out what's happening at Freebird.
Yeah, that's coming up later.
This segment was brought to you by BritBox, the streaming service from BBC and ITV, offering unmissable streaming British entertainment in Canada and the US.
Well, as the intro said, Inside Business segment, joined by a local success story and a friend of our city tonight. I'm joined by Manuel Baraszczyk, who, sir, I've known you a long time, as has Lita, but you and I have never actually sat down and talked business before. You have a number of businesses. Of course, we're in one of them right now. The owner of Showcase Pianos. You also have a piano academy, 2 locations, one on Broadway, but we're here at the store in Richmond and Aberdeen Centre. Tell us a bit about this, because one of the things people are going to see with your thread, and it's 2 parts during this episode, is that there are educated risks and chances you take with everything they're going to see that you do, including where we are right now.
Well, basically, I was working at a competitor's shop, and I remember walking into the big sales room that has all these pictures on the wall of different piano players. And one of the girls said, we shouldn't have this lady's picture up on the wall because she'll only play Fazioli pianos. And I was like, what is that? And at the time, I mentioned it to our boss that, maybe that our shop should bring these in. But then they said, there's kind of like this unwritten code that it can't be in the same showroom as the pianos that they currently have. So I mentioned it to my wife, and he said, hey, why don't we open up this shop? And so here we are.
We should also say, though, again, going that extra mile, which you'll see in this segment, is that you not only brought them in, you actually went to the source in Italy and talked to the founder.
Yes, totally.
Paolo Fazioni?
Mr. Paolo Fazioli.
Yeah.
And we've had to work hard to establish a brand here. Like one of the things that I'm proud of is that we accomplished in the first year was that we got the Shangri-La Hotel to buy a Fazioli piano, and we got Nouveau magazine to write an article about Fazioli pianos.
A couple things too I wanted to mention, like directly behind us, and you're looking at it now, is this stunning piano that you're calling the Swan.
No, it's a butterfly.
Butterfly, sorry.
Yeah.
Animals mixed up there. But it's interesting, this is sold. This is just for somebody that really wants a beautiful centerpiece, and you deliver.
Yes, totally. Coincidentally, this is for the same people that own that Shangri-La. It's for that West Bank Development Company. So over time, they saw the value of putting a beautiful centerpiece like that, something, an instrument that brings people together, that is accessible for people to play on. And so over the years, they've made fancier pianos and taken it a step up until reaching a piano like this, which is made by the same, designed by the same architect that designed their butterfly building on Nelson and Burrard downtown. So this is going to go into the lobby of that butterfly building.
It's amazing, just before we wrap things up, literally a year ago, we're talking to a pianist, an artist well known around the world, on one of the Fazioli pianos in the TELUS building. How important is it for you to have that brand in specific places? Like there, I think you're also in the Pac Rim, are you not?
Yes, that's right, yeah. So that piano in TELUS Garden is probably the most visible piano in all of Vancouver, because there's like 100,000 people traveling in front of that every single day. So for us, it was excellent to find out that this is where the piano was going to go, because you can see it from the street. So yeah, it's very exciting, and it's very important for us as well.
This would be enough for my day, just running this business. But you have another business, and coming up later in Our City Tonight, we're going to continue this Inside Business segment. Manuel's going to take us downtown to another business he co-owns, or I guess you co-own that, do you know?
Yes, with Mr. Richie himself.
Mr. Richie, of course. We won't tell you what that is. You'll have to watch later in Our City Tonight.
Well, we find ourselves in Yaletown at the brand new La Botega Dimaggia. Very exciting place to be.
It really is. Of course, we've worked with this team before at Dimaggia, the great restaurant over in Olympic Village, but now they've kind of taken that inspiration, food-wise, cooking-wise, and moved over to here. This is really needed in this neighborhood. I'm already buying things. We haven't even started the segment
Jim
yet.
and his new friend, the cakes. So definitely. But let's meet some of the players here at La Botega in Yaletown. Well, you're no stranger to our TV show, Our City Tonight. We've been at your restaurant filming you, and you were on a live cooking show that we got to partake in. You're amazing. And so tell us a little bit about how La Botega Dimaggia evolved.
Well, the idea really came from our loyal customers at Manja, first of all, because they were asking me all the time to buy the sauces at the restaurant, all the bread, the pizza dough, all the fresh pastas. And so I said, yeah, so we talked about with our partners, Francesca Riccardo, and we just came out with this hybrid idea of having an Italian grocery store plus all the cooking parts. So now we offered our customers all the fresh pizzas, all the pasta, but also they can buy the fresh pastas and the sauces to cook at home.
No kidding. When you walk in here, you can smell all your beautiful food that you can get at your restaurant. But you have an amazing team actually behind this. It's more than a grocery store. Calling it a grocery store is, yeah. Tell us about your team right away.
Well, first of all, our partners, Francesca Riccardo, which are the main show guys here. And then, of course, here we have our head chef, Ryan, and my brother, Tony, here at the back working. And the guys that cook all this fresh food every day for you, and all the fresh pizza doughs, all the focaccia breads, the lasagnas, the cannelloni. So they do everything in the house. All our bread for our paninis is all fresh made in the house. So they work very hard every day to just make sure that we always offer the top quality products.
Oh, it's super. It smells amazing. And yeah, we've seen steady customers coming through. So we're going to go over. Jim, where are you now?
Well, I'm over here with Francesca. She's the manager and director. Wow, double title. Let's talk a bit about first the authentic Italian approach that you guys take in the store. You select everything that comes from there to here.
Yes, so we promote authentic Italian cuisine So our chef Tony and Ryan, they create for us lasagne, cannelloni pre-made to take out. But we also have 6 seats in the house if you like to sit down. We have fresh sauces and pasta you can pick from our fridge.
Yeah, I should say, Lita and I have been in here twice. Once to, take stuff to go, but also we sat and had a nice lunch because you do offer a lot of cooked, prepared, fresh meals. Like, what can I had lasagna here. Yeah, tell our viewers what else you can have here and sit down and enjoy.
Oh, we have beautiful cannelloni, we have meatballs, really Italian style gnocchi, rosé sauce, and many different Italian sauces.
I should say, mentioning gnocchi, we should also mention Lita got that recently and got it gluten-free, which they offer here as well. We are right in early December right now, holidays, Christmas, it's all coming at us quickly. Let's talk a bit about what you can offer gift-wise for the holiday season.
We can offer gift boxes. We personally wrap it up in boxes, and we include all the high-end product we have in our house, like cakes from Italy, like a panettone, pandoro, beautiful
jams and
jams
everything.
and coffees.
Yeah, we should say, like, right behind us is Lausanne. Good display there. So a wide selection of things that you can get here. I love that you can also take out the fresh pasta, noodles, and everything as well. So it's fabulous. Hey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, we actually got the whole gang here together.
Well, not the whole gang.
Well, not the whole gang. Paulina's missing. We got Brian, Tony, and the other staff here. But yeah, before we go, guys, you wanted to say a few words to our viewers and your loyal fans.
First of all, thank to you, Lita and Jim,
Our pleasure.
for coming. And also I wanted to thank our loyal customer, and I'll invite them to come to Yale Town to visit us at La Bottega.
Don't forget to pick up your gift card for your amazing holiday shopping.
Sounds good.
Wow, we have Italian replacements in the host positions for the show.
We certainly do.
Thank you, guys. Now we're going to do a little shopping.
Yes.
Well, we've gone from Richmond to another area of town. We're in downtown Vancouver basically, we want to talk about another part of your business world, and that is a great clothing store in downtown Vancouver on Georgia Street, Stefano Richie, and we're right in the middle of the showroom right now, actually. So let's talk a bit about how you came across and how you developed this, because one thing I noticed with your life story and business is it's taking chances and taking educated, confident risks, and you did that with this because you already had the piano business going, but you end up in Italy because of that. You pick it up from there.
Yeah, well, a few years ago when we got set up with Mr. Fazzioli to represent his brand here in Vancouver, he said, well, you have to come to the factory, and then this was a requirement for all of his dealers that they have to come to the factory. So I brought my wife with me. We went through Rome all the way up to Venice, and in Rome we stayed in this fancy hotel, and I'll never forget seeing this amazing tie in the window, and I was shocked. I'm like, where is this made? And it said on there, made in Italy. And I thought I had known all these top makers, and I was so blown away that we actually walked straight there, and and I've been buying their things ever since then.
And that's how your relationship with that brand and the company and the man began, correct? And you kept going back every time you were in Italy. Again, about taking confident risks. I mean, you ended up partnering with the Richie brand and the company. And talk about how that came to us being in here 5 years after you opened.
Well, we did keep in touch with them. In the beginning, I thought I only really knew the ties, but then as I discovered that there was so much more to the brand, not just the formal wear, but the casual wear as well. And everything that they did was so high quality. They used the best materials and the best workmanship. And it's actually people are afraid often that if I go into that shop, I'm gonna, it's gonna be like $15,000. But actually, when you come and appreciate the brand and you appreciate the quality, you'll see that it's actually all quite reasonably priced, and there's something for everything. We have T-shirts, we have jeans, and of the highest quality.
You know what's great too is that there's so many things that have become lost over the decades. I think of like even something as simple as getting your shoes shined at a shoe shine, or actually getting a tailor-made suit. And you have a master of master tailors that comes in here once a year. Somebody's being fitted right now. Tell us about your partner in the master tailoring game.
Well, so our master tailor from Stefano Richie is one of the best in the world, and it's a real privilege to have somebody at this level coming to our store here in Vancouver. And I'm sure it's one of the top events in Canada available for somebody that's looking for a fine, proper custom-made suit. And so he comes once a year, and we welcome people to come and try the experience. And you know, we use the finest materials and the finest workmanship.
Hey, listen, it's been great connecting with you again. We've known each other a long time. It was great to kind of delve into your business world. You're a busy man, but thank you for having us in this great store. Come and check it out on Georgia Street. It's Stefano Richie store. And don't forget to check out the Showcase Pianos Broadway and where we started the segment and the Aberdeen Center in Richmond. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
He is an award-winning jazz musician who has had 11 Billboard hits. He's also a Juno Award winner, along with many more awards to his credit. Actually, too many to list here, including several gold and platinum albums. What you're watching is his newest single. It's just in time for the holidays. It's called I'll Be There This Christmas. It was just released. We want to welcome the very talented Gabriel Marksselbach.
Thanks for having me.
You're quite welcome. And we should let our viewers know he's got cool glasses on because thanks to a rare November sunny day here in Vancouver, sun is beaming right through this cabana onto Gabe's face. So thank you for joining us.
Well,
sir.
it's appropriate, Gabriel Angel, yes.
That's very true, yes. It's always great when we have somebody on who we've been following since we were teenagers, when you were not much older. You won a lot of awards, as Lita said, but we first came to your attention when you were part of the Powder Blues, and what a killer band they were in the late 70s and the early 80s. Juno Award for Album of the Year, Most Promising Band. Talk a bit about the dynamic of being a part of a band at a young age, and then you go out on your own. How is the dynamic different, leading a group as opposed to being part of a group?
Well, there's a few things involved in there. We were doing almost 300 dates a year on the road.
Wow.
And I spent too many Christmas Eves and days leading up to Christmas in the middle of the prairies in the back of a cold van. And from everywhere, all the way across Canada, all the way up to Port Hardy.
Yes!
One of my favorite
hometown.
places. I still have some friends up there.
Awesome.
But I just, at one point, just realized that I wasn't destined to be a sideman and being told to be the expendable soldier in the field.
Sure. Yeah.
And I enjoyed playing with Powder Blues, but also I had way more to say musically.
Yeah.
So I actually launched my solo career while I was in Powder Blues. I had my first album on Polydor Records, back when it was Polygram at that time.
Wow. It's Polydor and Polygram.
Yeah, they changed. And that got me launched pretty much. I had some exposure, and I won a Juno Technics All-Star Band Award 2 years in a row. But that was mostly because that was a write-in kind of vote, public vote they had at record stores, back when they had record stores.
Back when they had record stores.
And but that gave me the kind of exposure being with Powder Blues that helped fire my career up.
Excellent. Now tell us a little bit about your latest album, Tongue and Groove. It's getting a lot of attention.
Yes, it was just got my 11th Billboard hit from that album. And it stayed on the charts for quite a while. It came out in June, and it just now is starting to fall off. So it's had a pretty good run. It's got some really great players, and there's a couple of really well-known local players on it, Miles Black and Daniel Sagan, as well as international stars in the contemporary jazz vein, Paul Brown, Chris Standring, Brian Hughes, another Canadian. So it's got a variety of people on the album, and I think it really digs deep and kind of my best work yet, really.
Oh, wonderful.
It's good to hear what what's your best work is what I'm going to do next. Really, kind of, it's good to hear. Hey, we're going to mention just a few other things too. Among the many awards you won, Album of the Year, Instrumental Album of the Year, or Artist of the Year. I was going to say 2011.
It was Album of the Year and Instrumentalist of the Year at the 2011 Canadian Smooth Jazz Awards in Mississauga. And that's based the Wave radio station out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Wave 94.
We should also mention too, you have
Which
an
is
ongoing.
Sorry, living
No,
room
sorry,
for anybody. They're coming out to the West Coast this spring. They are coming to Vancouver with a new Wave station out here.
Wonderful.
We will welcome that.
Definitely.
Good to hear. Hey, speaking of jazz too, ongoing show at Admiral Pub and Grill on Hastings Street. Is that coming back? You doing more of that?
Well, yes, of course. The Admiral, for anybody who knows it, has been around for years and years and years and has gone through several incarnations. Right now, it's a really great showroom for music, and I have the Sunday nights. Actually, it's not night. It's 5 to 8 p.m. So early. You can eat, listen to music, and go watch Netflix for all you care.
This is fabulous. Congrats on all the music you make, and I'm glad to hear that you are actually performing still locally, and we'll get back on the road in 2022, as Lita mentioned. Great to have you. We'll have all Gabriel's information in our closing credits. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, we're back here where we began the show at Freebird Table and Bar, and we're joined now by a guy who's been on our show before, GM Steve.
Yeah, welcome, Steve. It's great to have you back.
It's great to be here.
We love this place, and we are now in December, getting into the thick of it. What's happening at Freebird for those holiday people?
Well, for the holiday people, it's a great venue to come in, small groups, larger groups, come in for a happy hour get together on a little Christmas party, impromptu Christmas drinks with your friends. We've introduced a new winter menu with a lot more heartier, warmer fare, a little less fried, a little more well-rounded, some new cocktails, some new beers, all geared towards our winter menus.
We should say as well, you're not closed.
We are
on
not,
Christmas
definitely
Day.
not.
So if you're looking for, that always used to happen to me, is you're looking for a place to go on say later in the day after all the festivities if you celebrate Christmas, but no matter what you celebrate, you're open every day.
We're open every single day. The entire executive table group restaurants are all open throughout the holidays.
Wow, well, we'll come party with you.
The only time we're closed will be on New Year's Day after breakfast.
Wonderful.
Good. Oh, after breakfast. Wow. Okay. Well, listen, we thank you and Claire, Mark, and the whole team for having us out here again. Come check this place out in Richmond, Freebird Table and Bar. I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Lita Leafens.
We'll see you on the next edition of Our City Tonight.
Outdoor wear for Jim and Lita provided by Helly Hansen, alive since 1877.
Soluzione Spa Products, a national luxury spa product distribution company located in North Vancouver, British Columbia.